Welcome to Channel 34 News. Today, we're going to go visit the British 3 Book Club. They're discussing A Raisin in the Sun, a book that touches on a power struggle between a mom and her son and goes to a young woman trying to define herself through another man.
Hello, America. Today we're going to be talking about A Raisin in the Sun, written by Lorraine Hansberry. The story is about a modern black family living in the civil rights movement, who is living in a poor, rundown house owned by the mother Mama. Her son is Walter.
Now that you bring up Walter, I was sitting here talking to my friend earlier today. He was saying Walter and Mama have a really big power struggle. Because that's the typical household. You have the husband who's normally in charge.
Who's the powerhouse? Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
But in this case, it's the woman, which is kind of different. So you know what? You see the tension building, even though he is the son. But he also kind of has tension with his sister, Benita.
Because Benita has a struggle the whole entire time of if she should go with her cultural background with Asagai.
Oh, yes, Osterguy is very traditional. He is my favorite out of the ones that they do.
I do not like Asagai. He's too optimistic or whatever. But
Mr. Schultz, please come to our call.
The men continue to discuss. They will now move on to the two men that try to steal a young girl's heart and the differences between the two, George and Asagai.
Asagai was too optimistic and never got anything done. But George was ambitious, got things done, and he didn't care about his cultural roots. He just did work, son.
Our British boys will now move on. They will talk about conflicts within the house, relationships within the house, and what a sum of money can do to family stability.
Well, as you were saying, I'd like to say that the world needs sort of a middle person, a kind of happy medium. Yes, you need someone who's optimistic for the future, that's striving out for new things, but you also need someone that's still stuck to their roots. So a good medium person that can stretch to both sides of the spectrum.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But getting back to the book, you have Mama and you have Walter and you have Benita, who's his sister, and then you also have Ruth, which is Walter's companion, and they have a son, Travis. Right? And they're all living in this same kind of dirty, run-down, problematic house, and they're all, there's so much banter going on with the death of Mama's husband, and now there's $10,000 on the line, and everyone's trying to get a piece of it, and trying to figure out, where they want to go, and, Mama wants to buy a new house, and they're all struggling whether they should move into a new white neighborhood, or whether they should make a more rational decision with it. Walter is wanting to put his money towards a more cause, towards his standards to invest and become more money with his liquor idea. Ruth is kind of in that middle. She doesn't really have
a dream
She
yet.
doesn't really have a dream yet, of course. She's supporting Walter, but she wants a realistic approach.
Yes.
And so she's kind of leaning towards with Mama a little bit, seeing that Walter has been kind of so many things.
And I love that you say, I agree with you, but I love that you say craze for money, because this whole entire book, I take it as, is that they are fighting for what the white person already has in society, which is money. And they're fighting for it. And the white society keeps on weighing down on them and pushing them back. And then the traitor, who was the guy that cheated on them and stole his money?
To be honest, I'm not really sure.
But
That was beautiful input on class representation, certain views due to money, and society's outlook as a whole. We will now move on to looking at stereotypes in this era.
And then the guy stole his money and stole his dream from him.
It's actually interesting that you say that, because, black people, African Americans, normally have that typical stereotype of theft, murder, but it's almost humorous because it's in the civil rights era, and that's when they don't want to have those stereotypes, but they want to be equal with the white people.
Well, let's not talk about stereotypes, but let's also say that the civil rights movement, this is, I think, foreshadowing for the whole civil rights and African American and all the races combined, is that when they move in with the white neighborhood, it shows that someday, and we are there now, that we can live together in harmony. And that we'll be able to work together and become the great America that we are.
I agree. What do you think about that, Patricia?
What inspiring words to see hope like that. For America to live together as whole in harmony. Beautiful.
And that's all the time we have for today, America. Back to you, Colby Hollis.
Why, thank you. We are now switching topics to what has been going around the city for quite some time. The outbreak of rages. The footage we are about to show you can be disturbing. Oh my, that footage was awful. What's that? Our boys from the British Book Club have one more thing to say. They're going to tell us about how men back from the era of this book can connect to the people outbreaking in these rants.
Hearing about riots, we wanted to come back to our nice little group we have here and see the connection between Booker T and our book, A Raisin in the Sun.
Well, there's a big connection, or sort of disconnection, from Booker T and Walter. Because Booker T accepted that white man was above him and took his crap and said, I'm going to work with this and try to kill him with kindness, which is the opposite of what...
Yeah, I was thinking, just same thing, because Walter, he always strives, because he wanted the money. Mm-hmm. He wanted to always be like the white man. He thought almost he was better than the white man.
Yeah, I think Walter was the exact opposite approach and said, I'm better than you, I'm going to beat you.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That must be why he supported George when he was who was he trying to marry? Oh,
George, yeah.
George
was trying to marry George.
Okay, I'm sorry. And because he supported George, who was trying to marry Benita, which makes sense because he is kind of saying because he has money, and that is what Walter is going after because he wants to be better than the white man.
Well, Walter thought that money equaled to be better than the white man. That's really what it came down to.
Exactly.
Well, we just wanted to interrupt the small newscast with this nice information we have here. Thank you. Back to you, Colby Hollis.
And thank you. That does it for us tonight on Channel 34 News. Thank you for watching and stay in touch.